Welcome into Dolphins Today. I am Tom Downey. Today's show made possible by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all their men's grooming products by using promo code Dolphins over at manscaped.com. We begin with some news on today's show as Robbie Chosen is back as a member of the Dolphins organization. He has signed to the Dolphins practice squad. This move, by the way, comes after the Dolphins had their initial 16-man practice squad, which indicates to me that Chosen had shopped around for other potential landing spots, didn't find one he liked better than Miami, and then chose to came back. Pun. I'll just say I intended it. I didn't really mean to there. He spent all the Dolphins practice or preseason and training camp with the organization after he had signed following what has been a decline in Chosen's play the past couple of seasons. 2020, he was great, 1,000 yards. 2019 at a smaller sample size was really good, 15 yards per catch, and then the numbers really fell off in 2021 where he was averaging similar catches, same touchdowns, but averaged a full 5 yards per catch less than he did in 2021 versus 2019, and then bounced around with Carolina, traded to Arizona, did not make much of an impact, but he does add even more speed to the Dolphins' wide receiver room, at least on the practice squad side of it. So give me your one-word reaction to Robbie Chosen returning to Miami. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. To make room for Robbie Chosen, formerly Chosen Anderson, formerly Robbie Anderson, on the practice squad, Randy Charlton has been released. He was a UDFA backup defensive lineman. So this then is the Dolphins practice squad right now. Darrington Evans, the former Titan draft pick, is at running back. Remember, they wanted to bring back Myles Gaskin. He found an active roster spot, though, in Minnesota. Robbie Chosen, Braylon Sanders, Raleigh Webb, I think that's how you pronounce it. Raleigh Webb, I'm not sure exactly. I've not heard of him before, but he's your third receiver. Nick Bowers and Tanner Connor at tight end. Alama Ulave at center. Chasen Hines, the former Patriots draft pick, at guard. James Tunstall, Rashard Lawrence, Deshaun Hand, Chase Winovich, a couple former Patriots on this practice squad. Cameron Good, A.J. Johnson, Ethan Bonner, and Josh Kalu, who could be a potential game day call-up to begin the season. And we get 3 of them each for each player. If you guys want more Dolphins news, rumors, updates, videos for you, then if you haven't already done so, now is the time. Hit that sub button for more Dolphins updates. Let's begin with the latest on some free agency rumors out there. Bleacher Report has named Kareem Hunt one of the top 3 free agents the Dolphins must pursue, which, of course, it's a running back, right? And the fantasy people out there, and look, I have my issues with fantasy people in general, they were like, well, Kareem Hunt's got to sign. They were legitimately, I've seen conversations of, should I draft Raheem Mostert or Kareem Hunt? What are you guys doing? Draft the guy on the roster, who's better, by the way. Hunt has been linked to Miami because, in part, of all the interest the Dolphins have had at the running back position. They had interest in Jonathan Taylor. They had interest in Dalvin Cook. Jeff Wilson's going to miss the first 4 weeks, and this was the argument from Bleacher Report. Hunt could bolster the Dolphins' running game, and he could complement Mostert and Wilson nicely when the latter returns. It could turn into a 3-headed rushing attack for Miami that would be difficult to stop. My biggest issue here is this is Devon A-Chain erasure, and I'm not going to stand for it. How are you not mentioning the Dolphins' 3rd-round pick, who is the other part of that 3-headed attack? Look, Kareem Hunt has had a successful NFL career, but it is very concerning to me that the last time we saw him last year for the Cleveland Browns, he averaged under 4 yards per carry. His numbers plummeted. And yes, there is some pass-catching value still. But when Nick Chubb is one of the most hyper-efficient backs in the NFL, and Kareem Hunt is not, that's a Hunt issue, not an offensive line issue. Some more thoughts on this to come, but do you want to sign Kareem Hunt if you ran or had input into the Dolphins organization? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment, so if the ad comes on YouTube, take advantage. Head down there and go vote. I guess if you want to, it's fine. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is a terrible signing, because it'll be a cheap 1-year deal with little to no guaranteed money, and it might do it after week 1 where the contract isn't fully guaranteed anyway. but I'm not that worried about the running back room. If you could have gotten Dalvin Cook on the cheap, great, do it. You could have gotten a fair trade for Jonathan Taylor, that's fine. None of that Jalen Waddle BS there. But the Dolphins don't have a massive need in the running back room. By the way, Devon Achane set to practice this week. He's good to go. Raheem Mostert, I think you'll see Savon Ahmed out there in the not-too-distant future in terms of practicing. You have Chris Brooks as your fourth back. You're going to get Jeff Wilson back. I know there's been injury concerns. That's all fine. That's why if you want to do it, I'm okay with it. But I don't think this Dolphins team is like, wow, we have 0 good backs. We have to get somebody in there. You want to get a great player, okay. Kareem Hunt is not a great player anymore. Now, if you do want a great tool, get the Lawnmower 4.0 from our friends over at Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code DOLPHINS over at manscaped.com. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description for you guys. The Lawnmower 4.0 is the best in below-the-waist men's grooming. You can even get the Performance Package 4.0. You can get the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker for your ear hair and nose hair, or it's a gift for your dad or grandpa or whatever. Ball deodorant as well, because you put it under your armpits. Shouldn't you put it under your ball pits? That's not really a thing, but it sounds funny, so I'm going to go with it there. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code DOLPHINS over at manscaped.com. Once again, folks, that link is in the comment section and the description of today's show. All right, next up is James Robinson. Same from Bleacher Report, different article, different author, I believe, as well. They claimed Robinson was the top free agent target for the Miami Dolphins. Now, they focused on the size element that Robinson would bring, which is fair if you're ignoring Chris Brooks, which we will get into. I would fully expect the Dolphins to continuously be linked to various backs, even up until after Jeff Wilson returns, because the link to Dalvin Cook, link to Taylor, I don't necessarily agree, but that's how, the national media is going to approach it. Now, if you had to pick one to sign, no cop-out answers, even though I think the answer is none myself, you have to pick one. Who is it? KH for Kareem Hunt, JR for James Robinson. Who would you add if you had to pick one to add to the backfield for Miami? I'm going to pick Hunt over Robinson if I absolutely had to pick a player. Not really the route I would prefer to go. But that's, I think, where you are at this stage. If you had to pick one, I'd rather take the better player in Hunt. The argument for Robinson from Bleacher Report was that the Dolphins need more depth at running back after moving Jeff Wilson Jr. to injured reserve. Raheem Mostert, rookie Devon Achane are currently in line to be their primary backs. Both are known for their speed and less for their between-the-tackles power running. Now, that is all true. That Brooks is they don't have the size there, but Brooks offers that. Chris Brooks, your UDFA out of BYU, who is actually a little bit bigger than James Robinson is based on the listed size. He's a little bit taller, same weights. Potential hot take alert here. I would rather have Brooks on the 53-man roster right now than I would rather have James Robinson. Look, Robinson was really great in 2020 as a UDFA gem himself for Jacksonville. He was not as good, but still quality in 2021, but then got hurt, and he never looked the same when he came back in 2022. The Jags had him. They flipped him to the New York Jets. They released him, or they didn't bring him back to this free agency. He wasn't that good. The Patriots signed him, and then the Giants added him when the Patriots cut him. He's been on 4 teams, 4 different NFL teams in less than a year. That is not a good sign. When 4 different teams take a look at you and go, nah, we don't want him. Nah, we don't want him. We don't want him. No, we don't want him. That is not a promising sign at the running back position, where it's already a very short shelf life. Now, especially bonus points here if you go beyond the running back room. Name a free agent who you want the Dolphins to sign. Get those votes in for me in the comment section right now. One more note before we go here. The Dolphins have named a new quarterback too, or they've officially announced it, I should say. Mike White is going to handle that responsibility for the Dolphins this season. He was named the backup quarterback earlier today by head coach Mike McDaniel. No real surprise there. That was pretty expected since, Skylar Thompson had a terrible third preseason game and White had a bunch of guaranteed money. But officially, it's Tua, Mike White, and then Skylar Thompson in the quarterback room.